Hello. I look like a mandrill, sister, don't I? Trying to sell you some wet rain shampoo. Clear, fresh, and ugh. Oh Lord, I can't help it. Ah. So when you're pretty, you buy some white rain. I don't actually remember the commercials very well. I just remember Barbara Mandrell's hair being like, woo. So, I'm gonna sit here and play with my hair while I talk to y'all as it gets nuttier and nuttier. I don't even know which way my bangs are going. Okay. Hi. How are you? My name is Insanity. No. My name's Kelly. And wow, look at those bangs. Oh, sausage girl. That's slightly better. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Yeah, I am going to talk about my hair. Woo! Woo woo! Because I can't not talk about my hair. La 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 la. La 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 la. Okay. And then la 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 la. Alright. Because you know what? On Real Housewives, because I am such a teenager from the 80s, it drives me insane when I see them sitting with curls that aren't brushed out. Like, you wanted your hair to go out as much as possible when I was a teenager. You wanted it to fly, baby, fly. You wanted to, like, flip it, shake it, spray it, flip it again, and then, oh, look at that. I'm so pretty. I'm so pretty. And so are you. I'm a special snowflake. Are you? I am. So, what do you think of this shawlette? It's the Multnomah that I did for Nerd Wars. And I won 13 points for my team today. Because, alright, so here's the deal. Yes, it does get wonky over on the left side. It gets totally messed up over there. This side looks nice. So what happened? Drugs. So now I just feel like we're going to a barbecue joint. Getting ready for some brisket, taters, fried okra. Wow, I am really bizarre today. Oh, that's what that is. Extra curl hiding in the back. So, how was your weekend? Was it crazy? Was it insane? Did weird things happen? Did good things happen? I know for some people, terrible things happened. I know for one of my friends, she's having a really rough day today. I feel really terrible for her. So, Dawn, I'm thinking of you. I know how hard that's going to be. And also, there may be some barking. I'll warn you ahead of time. If there already wasn't barking, and I was just blabbing on while Maisie's outside. Because it is 10 minutes to 6, and the sun is still out. The sun is still out, and I'm always happy when the sun is coming back out for a long time. I'm really excited about daylight savings time and extending that. So, excuse me for a moment. I need to do something that's gonna drive me crazy if I don't do it right this minute. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I wasn't going to stop touching it if I didn't fix it right away. So, this weekend, I finished my shawlette. Like I said, it's for Nerd Wars. It was for the challenge called Simple Machinery. You could knit anything that represented a simple machine. Like, some people are knitting circular hats, tams, and then saying that they represent a wheel or a spoke. I picked a multnomah shawlette because it's a triangle, and triangles are wedges, and multnomahs are really quick to do. And I got a lot on my plate. I've got a lot on my plate. So today I'm going to talk about, first of all, Happy Mardi Gras, if you celebrate Mardi Gras, if that's your thing. Happy Darwin Day, if that's your thing. Happy Black History Month. I'm just going to talk about that real quick for a minute. I mentioned on one of my podcasts back in December that part of my family ran an Underground Railroad in Maryland, and it's called Cooling Springs Farm. And this book was written by my cousin. The book is called An American Family of the Underground Railroad, and it's written by Peter H. Michael. And let me double check if there's a picture in here of it. Well, it's black and white, but this is a picture of the farm. It's a historical landmark in Maryland, and it's open for visiting, and it has stayed in the Michael family for a very, very long time. It's close to Frederick, Maryland. It's close to the Potomac River and the Monocacy River. And if you're interested in American history at all, or you're just looking for something to do while on a vacation surrounding DC, it's a very interesting place to go. Oh, come on. Let's see. Okay. So, here we have physical evidence of the Springhouse use as an Underground Railroad station. And those were to bolt the doors and keep people in and safe for the night. Can you imagine? These were people who just were taking a huge risk. A huge, huge risk. And they had to cross the Potomac. And the part of the Potomac that they would have to cross from Virginia is a very rough kind of rushing waters thing. It's not something that you really play with. It's not very good to swim across. So they had to be taken by boat in the dark of night, and then they had to walk 3 to 5 miles to Cooling Springs Farm, and then stay in the stone hut for however long as possible until they could get their ride or safe travels to the next part of the railroad. So I'm very proud that I have a grandfather who was an immigrant to this country and felt that it was important that all people be treated equal, no matter what their skin color was. And not only that, but he was going to help them get to the next place that they would need to get to have their freedom. So I'm very proud of that. But I'll also own up to and admit that his son, my great 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 grandfather, was kind of a terrible person. Now, as the Civil War was happening, my great 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 grandfather decided that he still wanted to fight for the Confederacy, even though his father was running an underground railroad. I come from a very stubborn bunch of people from all different parts of my family. But my fourth great grandfather was so determined to fight for the Confederacy that he ran away from home at the age of 14 to go fight at the Battle of Bull Run. Well, his father was not going to stand for that, and he went down to the Battle of Bull Run and said, I didn't give him permission to do this. He's not old enough to do it. He's coming back with me. So, then his son was also what's known as a copperhead. He tried to disrupt, corrupt the second election of Abraham Lincoln. So, this guy, your family is who your family winds up being. So, even though my fifth great grandfather did everything he could to raise his child right, his child decided to take another way. Sometimes that happens in families. Sometimes it happens a lot. No matter how well you think you raise your kids, sometimes they just turn out to be kind of terrible. Now, after the war was over, I don't know if it was after he was done serving his time as a copperhead, he went out to Illinois and lived there for a while, and then he moved out to San Diego, California, and stayed there. He died in San Diego, California, and there's actually a monument to him in the cemetery in San Diego. I don't remember the name of the cemetery offhand, but Peter Michael told me that yes, there is a monument to him. So either he changed his ways between between Maryland and Illinois and California, or some just insane, crazy people made a monument to him. But anyway, that's my part of Black History Month for today. What else was I going to talk about? I've been using the Penetrex. I actually took it to my doctor's office because there's a warning on it that says if you're pregnant, don't use it. And so I showed it to her. Remember, this is a terrible name. Woo, just got an update. Take out the garbage. Thanks. That's not my update. It's my husband's update. And he already took out the garbage. So she said that the only reason why it said that pregnant women shouldn't take it or use it, because it's something that you just rub on your hands, is because the FDA has not approved of it. She said to her it looked safe, that it was just a bunch of different herbal things mixed up in a lotion. So, I think it might be helping a little bit. I'm still using the isotoner gloves when I knit. They're kind of funky, and they actually kind of get in my way while I'm knitting. Mostly I use the very tip top of my thumb. So there's nothing to do for that, really, except my doctor obviously isn't a knitter or a crocheter because she said, well, just knit for 30 minutes and then walk for 30 minutes. 30 minutes is when I'm in my groove. 30 minutes is when I finally have everything going and it's la 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 and I'm making something fantastic. That is not a point where I want to put the needles down and then go walk for 30 minutes. So I am trying to take her advice because she's my doctor and she's smart. I actually had to get a recommendation from her for a new gynecologist because I found out that my gynecologist donated money to the Mitt Romney campaign. I cannot have somebody be in control of my body when I'm unconscious that would support Mitt Romney. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. So my doctor gave me a new list of people, and she said, it's nice that you found that out. She said, I have my own policy of no politics, no religion. So she might have a policy, but at least she's smart enough to set up a different account to donate money to. So that was really special. So I'm on the lookout for a new GYN in Cincinnati, if you know of one. And I would prefer female. My favorite gynecologist was a little Filipino woman. She was so sweet, and she was so tiny. She had tiny hands, but she had the biggest diamond ring in the world. I'm talking, it was like this on her finger. And the first time my first husband came into the room while I was getting a prenatal exam, and he saw her put on the glove with the ring on, and then, she started to... He passed out. He was like, blah. He'll never live that down. Never. So, what else was I going to talk about that's foul? Oh, I'll show you some yarn I got. It's definitely, well, if you're from Denmark, it doesn't mean quite the same thing that it does in the United States or other places. But this might be the time for the next 3 to 5 minutes that you want to Alt-Tab and turn down the sound if you are easily offended or have children in the room. So, I got this beautiful, gorgeous red lace yarn. My friend had it in a D-stash, and I had to have it. I had to have it. This red is awesome. I'm a big fan of the color red. I'm also a big fan of the color blue. And there's my color affection. I'm also a big fan of pink, but this red is awesome. And this yarn is made in Denmark. And, well, I'm just going to show you. That's the name of the yarn. And, well, that's the name of the yarn company. In the name of the lace yarn is Goblin. Come Goblin. Cracked me up. I had to have it. So, happy Valentine's Day to me. This is special. Because when I bought it from the D-Stash, I wrote in the PayPal thing, "Come Goblin Yarn." And all of my PayPal stuff goes through my husband's bank account. So 10 to 15 minutes later, he's coming into my room. "What did you buy, woman?" So now it's here, and it's red, and it's my Valentine's Day present. So, it just cracked me up. I have a filthy mind. Sorry. Oh! Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this. I don't know if my mom watches these or not. Sorry, kids, if you're watching this. Oh, crud balls! I forgot to grab something. So, I'm gonna be off screen for a minute. Just going doodly 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 doo doo doodly doo. Do do doodly doo doo doodly doo doo doodly doo. Do 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 doodly doo. Do do doodly do do doodly do do doodly doo. A doodly do 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 doodly doo. Okay. I forgot to grab something that I'm going to talk about today. Alright. Now, I've been talking about this through all of January, all of February. I made some big decisions. Sadie, Yarnivore, Blue Ruin, We Shoot Stars. Her knit along for knitting blankets for sweet animals that are in shelters and just need something warm and cuddly to snuggle up to. Of course, she is... Oh, crud. You know what? Yep, I'm wearing pajama pants. I'll be right back. Just another second. Enjoy my interlude. Okay, I'm back. I was just a little forgetful. Sorry. Oh man, have you seen Wreck-It Ralph? You gotta see it. You gotta see it. It's great. Oh my gosh. I really loved that movie. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. I want to stop my video and watch it again right now. It was terrific. Terrific. Anyway, as you all know, I'm already donating a skein of yarn to Sadie to give away to people who enter the raffle. Not raffle, but participate in knitting. So this is a very nice worsted weight yarn, and it's called Sadie's Dirty Jeans. So I think it turned out wonderful. So, just for knitting, wait, what's happening with lemmings? All right. Oh God, there's no help. Stop touching your hair, Kelly. Stop touching your hair. I can't. I can't. I can't. Oh, it used to drive my mother crazy when I would put my hair back behind my ears like this. It would drive her nuts. She hated it. So she'd always like put them in German tight, the barrettes into my hair. Just German tight, and the hairspray it down so that I wouldn't be able to just tuck it behind my ears. She hated it. I still don't understand why. She hated it. Where was I going? Oh, okay. So just knit like one square. 14 by 14 is the smallest. 36 by 36 is the biggest. You can knit it, you can crochet it, you can sew it. And once you've made it, post it in Sadie's group, which is called, wait, let me double check. Forums. I have a whole tab on Ravelry just full of my podcasting forums. And I feel like I need to break it down even more. There's got to be like 100 here. Why can't I find Sadie? Yarnivorous. Yarnivorous. That's the name of her Ravelry group. So you go in there, post a picture, and then maybe you'll win this skein of yarn. Which brings me to point number 2 of this. Actually, I need a sip of tea. From all of my exertion from singing. Okay. What is it about? I don't like Twining's Earl Grey tea. It's just not strong enough for me. I need all the bergamot. Okay, so point 2 is I have taken a stand. I have chosen sides. As some of you know, Boutros Babe, Heather, is working very hard to get her listeners to also knit these snuggles, and post them in her group to win prizes. But she has some competition by the name of Katie, JetGirl1313. And Katie would like to win this year. Katie has a videocast called Knitting on the Fly. It's on the fly because she's a pilot. If you've never watched her, go ahead and watch her. She's very entertaining. And I decided I want Katie to win. So, anybody who knits a square and posts it in Katie's group, which is Knitting on the Fly on Ravelry, will also be eligible to win one skein of yarn from my shop. Okay? So, I know I don't have enough viewers for me to, win anything. So I decided instead I would just back up somebody who's the underdog. I like underdogs. I like them a lot. So, please knit a square. They don't take long. You can do one over the weekend. It can be your in-between thing from when you're tired of working on a giant shawl or sweater or whatever. Just knitting a square. It can be garter stitch. It does not have to be fancy. It can be in acrylic or cotton. You don't have to go out and buy Mad Tasha Vintage because it's for animals. You don't have to make it any special colors. You don't have to do any yarn overs. Just knit away, crochet away, sew away, and help out some animals. Okay? Okay. And in other charity news, many of you know Lemnit Crochet. She is raising money. She hopes to raise $1,500. When I checked yesterday, she was at $755. She is raising money as a memorial to one of her very close friends, Josh, who died of a very rare blood disease. And she wants to donate money to a place that will help with more research funding because it's such a rare thing. So she is going to have a raffle. Anybody that donates $5 will be entered into the raffle prize giveaway, and I'm going to be donating this. It is a skein of glitter yarn. Yes, it glitters. And it's called Katniss. So this is what you will be winning from me. I am not mailing this to Lauren because I'll be paying the shipping myself. That takes less stress off of her, and she doesn't have to pay out of her own pocket for shipping. So, Katniss, this is plenty enough to make a shawl, make a cute pair of socks. It's in my It's Glitz colorway. So, let's see. Potato picking hands. When I was talking with my husband the other night about how much my hands hurt, I put my hand up to his and he was like, I have shorter fingers than you. And his fingers are like maybe that much shorter, but then he's got this huge wide palm. And he said, well, those are my potato picking hands. Because he's Irish. You need a big palm to pick up potatoes. So, I just thought that was hilarious. That's all about that. Just something stupid and funny. Let's see. Today was Random Active Patterns Tuesday. And I gifted a birthday girl. And I gifted somebody who I was unaware of at the time was about to have a really rough day. And I gifted somebody who always entertains me and makes me smile when I watch your podcasts. And I think that's all I did today. So, if you're unaware of what Random Act of Pattern Tuesdays is, it's something that part of the knitting community, well, yarn community, volunteers to do on their own. You just look through your friends, or you look through just a random person on Ravelry. And you may not know this, but if you see a pattern that you like, you can put it into your queue. And when the screen pops up, there will also be a little box that looks like a gift. It's red and white, and next to that is a box that you can click. If you click that box, then that item will not only be in your queue, it will also be on your wish list. So then other people can see what's on your wish list that you'd really like to have, but maybe you don't have the $6 to shell out for it, or Right now there's a $25 lace pattern. Good luck with that, honey. Um, so, a random active pattern Tuesdays, what I do is I just look through, usually my friends. Usually I try to keep it to people that are in my Ravelry group, which I'll talk about a little bit more soon, and try to make their day special. So that's what Random Active Pattern Tuesdays is. I need another sip of my drink, even though it's kind of terrible. Ugh. I bought this at the grocery store. Ugh. Regrets, I've had a few. Okay. So, what am I knitting now for Nerd Wars? Well, let me tell ya. Grabbing it. And it's in my Stitched by Jessa Lou Firefly bag. Have you seen the Downton Abbey one? I specifically sent a link of it to my husband last week. I hope he bought me one for Valentine's Day. So, the next challenge that I need to conquer, enjoy, is the encyclopedia one. And basically, you just knit something that has to do with winter celebrations, like Chinese Lunar New Year or Mardi Gras. So, let me hold these together so they don't clank everywhere. I apologize ahead of time. So, I am knitting socks that are yellow, green, and purple. It's my popular yarn Mardi Gras, not Mardi Gras, Party Girl colorway. And the pattern is a very simple pattern. I'm going to show you a book. And if you don't have it in your collection, you really should. It is Knitting Vintage Socks by Nancy Bush. And for this one, I am doing the Madder Ribbed Sock. It's a plain vanilla sock, but she has a lot of really great great patterns in this. And she has them for big feet. If you are like perhaps me or Peggy Hill, you may wear a size 10 shoe and you may need to make a giant big old sock and you don't like math, she's already got it done for you. Okay, what else is on the list? Yes, today I put in a huge order of undyed yarn. And I'm excited. I can't tell you yet what I am doing with it because it's a surprise. But after the surprises are received, I will talk a little bit more about it. But I'm very excited about it. Let's see. And this is the weekend that there's going to be a Fat Fiber sale, but I'm not sure if it's going to be on the 15th. Let's see. I don't know. It might be on the 15th, or it might not be until the 16th. It might be just on Saturday morning and Saturday evening. But if you're interested in Fat Fiber boxes, what Fat Fiber boxes are samples of independent yarn dyers and stitch makers, and even somebody got a spindle, fiber, all kinds of things. So you can choose if you want a stitches box, which means that you'll get a knitting or crochet pattern possibly. You may also get stitch markers, but you'll definitely get all yarn in your box. You can also pick a mixed box, which will have all of the goodies I just mentioned, but it will also have fiber in it. It'll be divided up, half yarn, half fiber. And then the last box is called fluff, and there's no yarn in that. It's all fiber. It's all fiber, but there are also the stitch markers and things like that. And I think it costs like $32. And they have one time in the morning and one time in the evening on whatever day they decide to do it that they run it. And it runs out kind of quick. So you can go to fatfiber.com and get all kinds of information about it right from there. Let's see, what else I was going to talk about. My hometown has a local yarn store. Unbelievable. I come from a very, very blue class hometown. It really sprang up during the 1950s. A lot of the neighborhoods were actually built primarily for Army veterans, people who served in World War II. So most of the houses were built like on slab concrete, and there was one bathroom and 3 bedrooms, and there's barely a dining room, and then they've got a little tiny yard. So for my hometown to now have a local yarn store, it's kind of on the outskirts. It's kind of really impressive to me because my hometown gets a bad rap. It's kind of undeserved, but it's had a bad rap for a long time. And I actually won't talk about it if I'm in Maryland, so don't bother asking me. People who already know me already know, and people who live here in Ohio don't give a crap where I lived in Maryland. So that works out great for me. It is so nice to be able to live somewhere and not have the stigma of where I grew up hanging over my head. I actually had people decide not to date me because of the hometown that I grew up in. Isn't that stupid? Isn't that ridiculous? I'm pretty, I'm smart, but I lived in a town with a bad reputation, so they wouldn't go out with me. Oh, they wanted to visit me, but no, not happening. Not happening. So anyway, I'm proud and happy that my hometown has a local yarn store. Let's see. And I already talked about Black History Month. And, oh, somebody on Plurk the other day brought up the fact that they love looking at fiber and yarn on Etsy, but they feel like it would be easier to just trade bags that they make with the people who are selling the yarn or fiber. Well, guess what? I'm going to come in close on this one. Yeah. I'll trade yarn for bags. I did it the other week. Worked out pretty well. Let me show you what I got. It's a chicken bag. I love it because it's black and white and red. I was approached by Little Lippy You, and she sent me a private conversation on Etsy and said, "Hey, do you think we could trade?" I was like, "Let me look at your bags." "Okay, let's do this." And that was great because then I didn't have to tell my husband. He didn't have to see a charge on PayPal. He just saw me mailing out yarn. Figured, hey, I'm doing business. Oh, I am. I'm getting some bags. So, all you bag makers out there, I just want you to know, yes, I will trade yarn for bags. Or if you've got, like, really awesome stitch markers. Oh, that's what I didn't tell you about. Okay, so, there's this lady. Her name's Abby. She spins. She wrote a book called Respect the Spindle. She lives a few towns away from me. She's opening a store in Lebanon, Ohio. And I am going to learn to spindle from one of the best spindle people in the world. I'm so excited. So excited. And in April, there's going to be Stringtopia happening in Lebanon, Ohio. So if you're planning to come to that, you might see me. I'm probably going to be hanging around. So I'm excited about that. I'm very excited for her. And I just found this bunch of Post-it notes over here. Oh, okay. Knit One Heart 2, Wendy and Sheila, they are doing a dishcloth knit along. So, go join in. It's a dishcloth. Knit your snuggle first. And then go knit a dishcloth. Or crochet a dishcloth. It's just fun. Just do something fun. Join into the community. Be part of the positive part of the community. Knitting stuff together. And Sock Bunny is going to be doing a science fiction knit along. Actually, it already started. Just knit whatever you want. It can be science fiction related. And I am going to be giving away a skein of yarn for people who participate in that. I give away a lot of yarn, don't I? Let's see. Today I worked out. I had a goal, which was to do either 90 minutes or 30 miles, or whenever my toes went numb. So I got 8 miles in 30 minutes, which burned like 178 calories. Not very much. That was weird. Did you all notice that pause thing? Sorry. So I did that, and because I'm diabetic, my feet going numb is a bad thing. I know that for people who are competitive and are doing marathons and things like that, they're like pushed through the pain. But as a diabetic, I cannot allow my extremities to become numb, because then I might not notice when they're injured. So I have to stop. I have to give it a break. So that was kind of another one of the reasons that my doctor was like, we'll knit for 30 minutes and walk for 30 minutes. So I think maybe I'll just wind up doing the bike for 30 minutes and then doing more stuff with the kettlebell. and then maybe taking the dog for a walk. And I can't even do the kettlebell for a long time because of my hands, arthritis. Getting old is not fun. It's not even the getting old, it's the doctors finally diagnosing you with things and getting the proper diagnosis. It's not fun to realize how broken I am. And I actually wrote on here that I was going to apologize if I had a runny nose. But I actually haven't. In fact, I haven't even been itching my nose, but earlier today I was just a sneezing fiend. I could not stop sneezing. I could not stop blowing my nose. My allergy medication got switched around, which on the one hand is great because now I don't have to go to the pharmacy every 15 days and show my driver's license to be able to get medication. Also, it's cheaper than the medication. The downside is that the pill is a brown square. Brown is the most unfriendly pill color ever. Ever. They wouldn't make a black pill, would they? Would they make a gray pill? Brown is just a terrible color. But the good news is it's working. I had a lot of my medications changed around when I was at the doctor's office on Friday. So I actually got diagnosed with something that kind of surprised me. And so I started taking a medication for it. And the medication comes with a lot of warnings. I don't really want to talk about what the diagnosis was, but it is, it's fatal if I don't take my pill every day. But also one of the side effects is dying. So I'm going to take this pill so that I don't die. But one of the side effects is that I might die from it. Makes a whole lot of sense. So we'll see how it works out. How it goes. And one more sip of tea. And then I have one last little thing to talk about. Wait, I have two more things to talk about. Okay. Now, I had, oh crud, wait a minute. As you know, I had my 100 member celebration giveaway because I had 100 members join my Ravelry group. So, in celebration of that, I decided that all you had to do was join my Ravelry group and then watch my episode, I guess it was episode 12. And I asked for people to just write in the designated thread about how they met their first knitting friend. So, I am now going to do the random number generator and hold up because I'm going to kind of turn the screen. I don't have the random number generator on my... Wait, actually, hold up. Can I do it from here? Random.org. Go. Random.org. Okay, and we had, let's see, we had 41 comments, and mine was the first comment. And so, I'm putting that in, 2 to 41, and generate number 40. Oh boy! Number 40 is Nyarthak. And she wrote, I met my first knitting friend Sarah in this apartment complex I lived in. I had let a scatterbrained coworker crash on my couch, and she almost set my apartment on fire by ironing some toast. But Sarah came by and helped her put the fire out and loaned her a proper toaster, and after that, she and I became friends. Oh, roommate stories. Wow. That's a good story, isn't it? That's a great story. So congratulations, Nyarthak. You can pick out anything you want from my store. A winner is you. Congratulations. I'm happy you won. And I just want to take another few minutes to talk about positivity. Some of you know that on Saturday we lost a bit of positivity in our knitting community. Nobody died, don't panic. But somebody that we looked forward to hearing from all the time and things like that decided that she needed a break. I hope that later on she decides to come back. So, when I was a kid, I got picked on a lot. Actually, I didn't get picked on until I moved to my hometown. Growing up in Florida, and by the way, Sock Bunny, you had sent me a private message asking me where I grew up in Florida, and then I forgot to respond to you, but I kept thinking in my head, oh, I need to write back to Sock Bunny. I actually grew up in Fort Lauderdale. I lived there until I was 7. So I never got picked on when I lived in Florida, and I was a smart and mouthy kid when I lived there. And then we moved to Maryland and lived in a town east of Baltimore, and I didn't have any problems there. Smart, mouthy, same old me. But then when I moved to my hometown, suddenly I was picked on an awful lot. I was called ugly all the time. One time I wore a Avon used to sell ribbons, and then you could slide this like plastic flower over the ribbon and you could change the ribbons out. So I tied one on my neck and I thought that I looked very pretty. And then some boys said, oh look, you've got your dog collar on. I won't forget that, apparently, because now I'm 42? And it still sticks in my head. And I got picked on because I used big words. It never occurred to me that I shouldn't use big words. But I was informed, again by a boy, that I thought I was better than everybody else because I was using big words. But, then came a day when suddenly, even though I was smart, I wasn't quite ugly anymore. And those boys that picked on me suddenly wanted to go out with me. uh, that was my reaction. No. Um, and according to their Facebook profiles, under books, one of them wrote, "I don't read." Dang, I missed out on such a winner. Such a winner. The guy who used to pull my bra strap back and then send me flying down the hallway. I remember you. I remember all of my bullies. I remember all of the people who picked on me. But I also know that I never was who they said I was. At the time, I definitely felt that way. But looking back on it now, these were mostly boys that picked on me. The girls that picked on me actually lived like in Section 8 housing. So even though I lived a lower middle class life, when they went home, they were living in homes more terrible than I ever lived in. I always had a, a nice house to live in. They were going to a Section 8 house. So I think mostly they just picked on me because I was smart. But I remember that they picked on me because of some shoes I wore. They said, "Oh, you're wearing roach stompers." I was like, "Roach stompers? My house doesn't have roaches. Why would I need roach stompers?" And I had a jacket. It was a Pierre Cardin jacket. And it was a puffy jacket with triangles, and all the triangles were different colors. And they would just yell, "There's the crayon box, bitch." It was the only coat I had that winter. My parents couldn't afford to go out and get me another coat. My mom bought that at an outlet store and thought that it would look nice for me. I didn't get to pick most of my clothes growing up. If you've ever watched The Middle, Sue Heck, I dressed like her pretty much up until ninth grade. Pink overalls and flowers everywhere on everything. I dressed like a huge nerdy dork, but those were the clothes that were given to me. I did not have a choice. So, once I did get more of a choice in what I could wear and things like that, things turned around. But I won't forget those girls. I won't forget those guys. And I also know that they're not doing as great as I am. I'm having a great life. I'm having a happy life. And one of the things to remember about bullies is that they're doing it because they're not happy about something in their life. And they're just looking for a very easy target. And it might take a long time to overcome the sadness and hurt that you're going to feel. But just remember that it's not you, it's them. And if you feel like the best part of your day is that you hurt somebody's feelings, then you really need to get help. You need to talk to a therapist. You need to talk to a doctor. Hopefully you're already getting help, but you also need to be honest with your doctor or therapist and let them know that this is the thing that brings you joy, is hurting somebody else. And get it taken care of. Get the problem solved. I don't think that grown women with children should be intentionally hurting other grown women. You wouldn't want this to happen to your own children, so why would you do this to a grown up? It's stupid. Um, and so that's the other thing I want to kind of focus on real quick is don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. And if people don't believe you can do it, screw them. There were times growing up where I let other people determine what I could or couldn't do. And when I look back on it now, I laugh. I was friends with somebody who has a sister who is a very famous singer. And their entire family is now on a reality show. The very famous sister went bankrupt at one point. But my friend, she was in cheerleading with me, and she spent a lot of time in the vocational technology school. So she was concentrating on cosmetology. And before cheerleading would start, she would do everybody's nails. And she would spend a lot of time talking about how difficult the tests are for learning how to put on nail polish or learning how to cut cuticles. And I was so intimidated from listening to her that I started to think, well, gosh, I'll never be able to do that. I could never be a cosmetologist. That sounds really tough. That sounds really hard. All the time, I'm in the gifted and talented classes. Why did I let somebody have that much power over me to tell me I couldn't possibly do this thing? I let myself forget how smart I am, how intelligent I am, how ingenious I am, and that I can always find a way to get things done. When you are suddenly disabled, you start to use your creativity and ingenuity to figure out how to do things that bring you pleasure. And that is not something to question when other people do it. It's not something to disbelieve, because humans are amazing. When they want to do something, they can find a way and they can do it. And, at the same time that I was being told, okay, Kelly, there's no way you could go to cosmetology school and learn how to paint fingernails. I was also in these gifted and talented classes where I was being told that I did not need to take a typing class because I was going to have a career where somebody else would be typing for me. So, I taught myself how to hunt and peck and type because it became a necessary part of every single person's life. Oh boy. Sometimes it's amazing what people tell you you should do because this is what you are, and you don't have to believe them. You can do whatever you want as long as you basically have the time and have the money. for a lot of people, the money part slows them down. I can totally see that. But if you've got the time, everybody is smart enough. Everybody is creative enough. If you're watching this, you already know how to knit, you already know how to crochet, then you can learn how to do another million things. You can learn how to figure out the way to physically do all kinds of things. You can figure out how to mentally do all kinds of things. So instead of doubting that somebody is overcoming a handicap, you should be praising them and cheering them on and letting them know how great they are. Because they are. Because everyone is special. And you just have to live up to your own specialness every day and not let anybody else have that power over you. So, that's the end of my lecture. I went really long today, but I felt it was important to speak up. Oh, and here's the last thing I wanted to talk about. Vanilla and Moonlight Febreze smells like purple drink. If you want your house to smell like grape juice, I highly recommend Vanilla and Moonlight. So anyway, I hope you have a great week. I hope that you challenge yourself to do something that you've always thought you can't do, because I bet you can do it. And I hope you don't have to frog anything. I hope that you don't have any cats that barf on your yarn. I hope that you don't have any yarn barf. And I hope that you have a great week. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye now.